We have another ranking video today, and today I will be ranking my Narimi palettes. Narimi is also a Chinese indie brand that is mainly, I think, buzzing around the internet currently for their matte formulation, because their mattes, they do feel like cream eyeshadows, but they aren't. They are super impactful, they are super opaque, but they are easy to blend. They are a bit weird in texture, in my opinion, because they feel like they have been poured into the pan in layers. So when you swatch it with the finger, it's like a layer cracks off and then it crumbles a bit. But when you use a brush with it, you just have a lot of powder kickback. But that is also a thing that makes a shadow very easy to blend. So remember, ABH, old ABH, it was very, very powdery, but it was very easy to blend. And at this point, I have 7 Narimi palettes, so let's just rank them, because I very recently did my second review video on the new Narimi collection plus one of the old collections. If you want to get any of these palettes, I will put down the link to the Narimi overview on lookhealthystore.com. The thing with Narimi stuff is that usually it's very limited, and once it's sold out, it usually does not come back. So some of these palettes I do have here are sold out and will not come back. So that's why I put down the link to the overview so you can check out what palette is for you and what not. And if you purchase from Look Healthy Store, make sure to use the code ELLAGRAM to save 12% of your order. Thank you to everybody who used that code, because you save money and I make a small commission since this is an affiliate code. And at number 7, and if you saw my review, I do not think that this is a big surprise, it's the Exotic Sheep palette. It's from the new release and it's just not my vibe. By the way, all of these palettes have an awesome outside design. The artwork is just insane. But Exotic Sheep is more pastel. It's not my thing. I'm not a fan of pastel shadows, but I like the formulation well enough to actually keep it. Exotic Sheep is the one with, in my opinion, the worst shimmers out of the whole Narimi line, what I have tested, because these are flaky. And I always compare the flakiness in different levels, and the worst flakes that I have used so far are Adept Minka. But honestly, Adept Minka was kicked off the throne, and now it's Narimi Exotic Sheep flakiness. This is so flaky in here. And I'm specifically talking about these two shades. The blue one is flaky too, but not as bad as these two. They are that flaky that when you apply them and you leave them on for more than 2 seconds, they crack. They crack like the crackling nail polish we had in the 2000s that we want to forget as a collective on, because they looked awful. And that's what these look on the eyes. I already had the idea, maybe I should treat them like the Danessa Myricks Chrome Flakes, because they are also crackling and they are meant to be applied by tapping motions, and they are supposed to crack. Maybe that's the thing here. At number 6, we have the all matte palette from Narimi. This is the only all matte that she has come out so far with, and this is Cicada, and this is a very, very neutral palette. To me, this is at number 6 because it's not a palette that I get overly excited about, but it is a palette that I really appreciate having in my collection. Since I have this palette, I don't know how many times I grabbed this just to pull in a transition shade, to pull in something to blend it out, and you have a very, very nice mix of cool tones, mid-toned neutrals, and then even some pinky hues. I really appreciate this palette. Again, it's nothing that I'm overly excited about, because just look at my style, but I appreciate this palette and I think it's very, very versatile in my collection. At number 5, we have one from the older collection. This is the Black Ash palette. Beautiful artwork as always, and this is, I don't know if this word exists, but this is dirty blue. Dirty blue and dirty green. I don't know what it is about dirty shades. I'm not really keen to them, but this is executed so well. I love this palette. I think that this is a wonderful composition of shades, and although some people might criticize the fact that you have a black and a white in this palette and you could have added something else to blend, I think the black and the white really come in handy with this palette because it has a very, very dark overall vibe, and with a white you can manipulate these shades. You can turn them even into pastels at some point depending on how much white you add. And the two shimmers are insanely good. They are very, very pretty. Cicada is a very nice old used 200-year digged into the earth gold, and Ashes is a black based denim blue. Wonderful eyeshadow palette. By the way, aside from Cicada, I have videos with these palettes and 1 or 2 looks with each palette. I will link them down below so you can watch them after this ranking. At number 4 from the new collection, we have Night Spider. Oh, look at this beautiful artwork. And I think Night Spider is also no surprise that this is so high up here. Although there is the shade Giddy that I kind of do not understand. I love this color story, even with the dirty green, because this, although it looks a bit messy, and I think I said that in my review too, at first glance, this color story looks not working with each other, but Eardrop, Black Widow, and Tuberose are duo or even multi-chromes, and their shifts are all matching with the shades, with the matte shades in this palette, and that makes just everything work so well. Super impactful shimmers, very, very beautiful formulated shimmers. Tuberose is a tad bit flaky, but not even close to the bad flakes of Exotic Sheeps, and Eardrop and Black Widow are even velvety cream feeling. Absolutely stunning. Now to the top 3, and that was kind of easy but kind of hard because I feel like I want to switch number 3 and 2, but maybe today it's okay like it is and tomorrow I want to switch them. You know what I mean? Number 1 is like there is a lot of space between number 1 and 2, but 3 and 2 depending on the mood. So I decided for today I go with number 3, and that is Blue Twilight Dawn. This is also from the older collection, and this was the palette that I skipped with my first order when I ordered the Narimi palettes because I was not drawn to this. And then it popped up on Instagram, I think again, on some other Asian creators page, and I was like, what is this? Why have I skipped this? Because it looked so different on that creator's page. And then I decided when I got the newer Narimi palettes that I now grab it. Wow. I mean, I already know that I have a fable for blue. You know that I have a fable for reddish shades. But this combination is out of this world. This shade, Genie, is a blackened blue turquoise, while Fairy has such a dimensional shift going on. It is so versatile and it matches with the reds and with the blues. Wonderful palette, beautiful shades, kind of light but kind of deep dark, and it just works. The undertones in these blues, they range from a very neutral like Klein. This is like a very true royal ink blue, to Twilight, which is a dirty, old, cool tone, foggy, weird blue. It just works in this palette, and that's why this is number 3. Number 2 is a type of neutral palette that I could wear every day. This is dark brown amber, and as far as I know, at least today when I filmed this video and checked, it is sadly sold out. So maybe it comes back, but I don't think so. But if you have this palette, maybe it's worth getting back into this, because this is a warm neutral palette, but with a twist. Pearl is a slightly pink based, very, very reflective translucent shimmer, while Lamper is an oil spilled base with the most insanely nice looking warm base that matches these shades perfect. This shade here, Agate or Agate, whatever, is such a nice burnt dark terracotta shade. I want to wear this as one shadow look, blend it out maybe with resin or some crevice, and then apply it pearled as inner corner and brow bone highlight. That would look absolutely stunning. But I think it's no surprise that my favorite palette contains a few of the most insane gothic-y colors that I own in my collection. And that is Fireflies in the Dark. This palette has everything I want. It has black, it has white, it has red, and it has purple. Absolutely stunning. Firefly is a burning copper shade with a tad bit of a purple hue going on and some purpley holographic flecks. Star is a white to blue glitchy shade, and Secret is a very, very nice and unexpected shift from a light copper to violet. Everything in this palette makes so much sense. The quality is out of this world, and since this is my favorite palette and I'm always talking about the quality, what eyeshadow shade is one of the hardest to formulate in a good way aside from a neon yellow? It's purple, and it's actually red, because they can be very patchy. So let me just show you the purple. You see my finger is in here. I go back and forth and there you have a purple. And let me now do the same on the shade Blood. Finger is in there. 1, 2, and you have the red. Look at how easy they apply on my hand. The only thing that I have on my hand is probably sweat, because in my room it's like 25 degrees Celsius, so it's quite hot under these lights here. Like paint. They're like paint. I love them, and I still have pigment on my finger here. I absolutely adore them. So let me swatch for you the other shades too. Not all of them, but my faves. Here we have Firefly and Star. So Firefly and Star underneath. Really, really pretty. I love the looks that I did with this palette. I think it's absolutely stunning. And the composition with the red, the mix here with the black, the purples. So you basically have in this palette at least 3 color stories to go with, and you can manipulate everything thanks to the black. And if you then, let me grab that one while I still have dirty fingers here. And if you then mix and match in the Narimi range, and even take maybe Sakata into the mix when you use Fireflies in the Dark, you're good to go. You can do the soft gothic, the intense gothic, the mid gothic, no gothic, just nice shimmers, just intense reds, whatever you like. It's just working. And while I still have dirty fingers, I of course want to know, have you tried Narimi? Do you want to try Narimi after you maybe saw the videos? What is very tempting you? And I myself am very excited for what Narimi is bringing us, but sadly I assume that she will not come out with new stuff in the next 2 years. Because I think with that last launch where we had like Exotic Sheep and Night Spider, and that launch before that from which is Black Ash and Fireflies in the Dark, for example, is coming from, they were also 2 years of a pause, because I think she's hand doing these. Like, are these hand drawn? Narimi is not really active on Instagram. She is active on Chinese social media, but sadly I have a lot of info about this, which is a bummer. I wish that Narimi itself would be more active on Western social media, but of course I understand that she keeps it in her bubble where she feels nice. So I'm very, very happy that we in the Western world, outside of the Asian community, we do have access to these beautiful palettes, because whatever Narimi is putting in these, everybody needs to know about them. So thank you so much for Look Healthy Store to bringing these to us in the Western world. Thank you so much to Narimi that she formulates these beauties and that we can get them. I'm beyond excited for this, and I was already asked if I can do a best Chinese ranking maybe in ELLAGRAM series in December, and if there is nothing common that is knocking me off the socks right away, I think Narimi will be definitely mentioned in the top 3 brands. So let me please know down below your thoughts. If you do not have any opinion, but you still want to comment to push the algorithm, comment Narimi. Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.